So it says, rapper Lil Kim shocks fans with her plastic surgery transformation during her latest public appearance. So if you look at Lil Kim versus what she used to be, right? That's a beautiful black woman. Just, good God, that is beautiful. Yeah, a little bit of a cockeyed thing going on. Just those extra little touches. Beautiful dark-skinned black woman. Yeah, but Lil Kim back then was stunning. But then if you look at her today, what a shame, you know? The ruined. And it's like, I don't want to make fun of her. It's just, if we go back into what actually happened, now don't get me wrong, I don't know Lil Kim. I'm only going off information that I've known throughout the years and what she's actually said herself. She was dating Biggie Smalls, wasn't she? And obviously she was known to be Biggie Smalls' jump off. You know, people looked at it as Lil Kim was the dark-skinned girl that was with this overweight dark-skinned guy and he was just sleeping with her and whatever. But from what the movie and from what the diaries and documentaries stated is like Lil Kim was in love with Notorious B.I.G. She apparently really was in love with him, but he never kind of claimed her in that way. They were just like, from what is presented, it's kind of presented as Biggie Smalls was just sleeping with her, but she was in love with Biggie Smalls, but he was just getting his end away in her. And then what apparently happened was Biggie Smalls then met Faith Evans, and then he apparently married Faith Evans in the space of like a month of knowing her. Some crazy stuff like that. So you've got Lil Kim, dark-skinned, pretty Lil Kim, who's trying to be down for this guy who's not very appealing looking. He's overweight. He was a mess. You know, let's not try and make out like Biggie Smalls was desirable in any way. He was just popular, very popular rapper. But she wanted this guy, from what I've been told. And then he goes and instead of putting a ring on Lil Kim's finger, he goes and puts a ring on the space of a month on a light-skinned girl's finger. Back then, again, a load of colorism going on. There wasn't social media here. People were being called Blackie, burnt as fuck, burnt biscuit, black like tar, under the bed. People were being called all sorts. I got it in Britain. You can only imagine what it was like in America. They're like the kings of jonesing and diss matches. Black Americans will dish your ass, especially those vintage 90s black people. They had all the jokes for you. So I'm just trying to make people look at it from a perspective of if you're dark skinned and you've been with this person for years, they're not really claiming you, or maybe they are telling you they're claiming you, but in public they're not. And then a light skinned person comes along and that person goes and marries that person in the space of a month for a couple of weeks. That's going to hurt. That is going to hurt deep down. And then what Lil Kim decided to do was this beautiful dark skin that she had, beautiful face. I understand that the picture is kind of got flash on it, but she's dark skinned. She is a dark skinned black woman. And what she's done is she's gone and started to lighten up her skin and do all this surgery to kind of look non-black and Asian looking somewhat. She's tried to go for that look. And clearly she's gone from one surgery, not liked what she saw, gone into another surgery, not liked what she saw, gone into another surgery, and it's just got worse and worse and worse. And then obviously she's got complete body dysmorphia. She won't have a clue with what she looks like now. She'll think it's okay, you know, because she's trying to feed this desire to look what I would call universally westernized pretty as she possibly can. But really she just looks worse than what she originally looked like. Like that was, but she traded it in for this. And one thing that I heard that she said in a diary or something, I'm not sure she 100% said this, but I'm just going off what I recall at the time. Apparently, a load of her ex-boyfriends were leaving her and then ended up getting with light-skinned women. So this was a thing that was going in the back of her mind, basically like, these guys I'm dating, but they'll leave me and then get with a light-skinned girl. And again, colorism was rampant back then. You know what I mean, I've dealt with scenarios where women were like, sorry, your skin's too dark. I've dealt with that. You know what I mean? And then seeing that same girl go and get with a light-skinned guy. I've been in that position where a woman will try and make me move mountains just to get with her, but the light-skinned dude, she's just letting him walk through the door. Different struggles, you know, just based on skin tones. Now, a lot of this doesn't really happen in today's day because dark skin is like popular now due to social media and all the dance moves, and, you know, we can show ourselves in a more beautiful limelight versus back then when our image was controlled by non-black people, you know, because the television, what was being promoted on the television is what was found desirable, and black women, dark skin wasn't really shown in a beautiful limelight unless it was R&B, and then R&B was rather niche back then, you know what I mean? You only got doses of it. But on the main stages, we weren't celebrated as beautiful people. We ended up getting celebrated now in today's day, but back then it wasn't. So she's dealt with colorism horrendously. She's made the wrong decision. She didn't stick it out. Me, when I was being called dark skin, like I'm a male, so it's a bit different for me. I have testosterone. Women have estrogen. oxygen. So with them, not to sound sexist, women are comforters, you know, they're nurturers, I should say. They're not people who have got to like grit it out. Men, we grit it out. That's what we're supposed to do. They're not people that are supposed to grit it out. So her not feeling beauty, and we know when it comes to women, their number one key asset is beauty. With us, it's money, but with them, it's beauty. She just fell victim and said to herself, no, I've got to change this, but she's changed it for the worse. But apparently she's married, I think, got kids. She'll still be all right. There's still a dude that's going to take this on, but it's just a shame that she felt that way and just ruined the way she was made. And it's just like, this is one of the key reasons why I personally don't have a preference in women. My preference is based on if you're pretty or not. I don't care if you're dark skinned. Yeah, I'm a yam the box same way. I don't care if you're white or Latino or whatever. I'm not going to choose the Latina girl more or the white woman more. If you're pretty and you're in good health and you don't have any diseases, I'm it same way. I'm going to treat you just like I treat any other woman. It's just I have types within the women's. But there's no way I'm turning down a fine-ass dark-skinned black woman. There's no way. Oh, I'm not dating you because your skin's dark. Like, that's what people used to say. I'm not dating you because your skin's dark. That shit was being said back then. And it's crazy to know that how much times have changed now. The kids today won't really know what colorism is. They've just been born into a time where they see dark skin winning, you know? What I wish is that maybe social media could have come a bit earlier, you know, in the 90s ideally, so I didn't have to go through it. But these are the things that make you, you know, maybe if it didn't happen, I wouldn't be able to sit here and speak about these things and, you know, have a level of intelligence the way I do now based on if certain tribes and tribulations that I went through didn't happen. It's heartbreaking. Yeah, there's no way I would date a woman that looked like this currently, but I damn sure would date a woman that looked like this. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Anyway, yeah, like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.